Welcome to the 34th Annual Tree of Life celebration at Lankenau Medical Center. Since 1987, a tall cedar tree on Lankenau's main road has been lit, welcoming the holiday season. This year's theme is a season of hope. Due to the pandemic, for the second year, our program is virtual. But with all the challenges we faced and overcome, we have hope that soon we will gather face to face and celebrate all for which we are grateful. We have that hope because the tree lighting symbolizes so much more than the coming of the holidays. It reflects what Lankenau has always meant to this community. Since its founding in 1860 in the city of Philadelphia, Lankenau has been a light, extending help and hope to the people that it has served and continues to serve to this very day. The Tree of Life is also a way for the community to show its support for the work that we do here. Each light on the tree represents a donation given by a grateful person in honor or memory of someone. It could be in honor of a Lankenau physician or nurse who took care of a family member, or in memory of a friend. Or it could mark an occasion that someone wants to make sure is never forgotten. All of those people or occasions are entered into our book of life here at Lankenau, and a light shines on the tree for each one. During this ceremony today and throughout the holiday season, you can also be a part of the Tree of Life by simply logging onto the website shown on the screen here. Your donation will ignite a light on the Tree of Life and shine throughout the season. Each year during the Tree of Life ceremony, we honor individuals who have given extraordinary service to Lankenau, its patients, and the community. Tonight, you will meet the three people that we are honoring this year. Dr. Lawrence Livornese, Chairman of the Department of Medicine and the Dorrance H. Hamilton Chair of Medicine at Mainline Health. The very Reverend Canon Martini Shaw, Rector at the historic African Episcopal Church of St. Thomas in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Dolores Dunn, a registered nurse and clinical and diabetic educator at Lankenau Medical Center. Each will tell you in their own words what this award, Lankenau and the community, means to them. But first, Bill Robinson, President of Lankenau Medical Center.
It's a great honor to be involved this evening for Lankenau's 34th Annual Tree of Life lighting and celebration. I'd like to start by thanking the Women's Board President, Charlotte Mackey, for her wonderful leadership, and the Tree of Life co-chairs, Pat Nogar and Jill Acker, for their work in organizing tonight's celebration. I also want to express my deep thanks for the entire Women's Board and all the auxiliaries for their ongoing support and dedication to Lankenau and our community. The Women's Board serves as an important role in helping Lankenau keep our rich culture and our traditions alive. Their fundraising efforts have supported a multitude of clinical care, research, and educational initiatives over the past several decades. In total, our Women's Board and its auxiliaries have contributed more than $6.6 million to our providers, our patients, and for all the things that Lankenau does for our community. Their efforts deepen Lankenau's commitment to our shared community and contribute greatly to our culture of excellence. Thank you for all that you do. Tonight's celebration is a wonderful representation of the hard work and spirit they bring to our campus. This year's theme is Season of Hope, paying tribute to Lankenau's ongoing efforts in the COVID fight and offering a hopeful light at the end of the tunnel. The tree lighting is one of the highlights of our year, symbolic of Lankenau Medical Center's service to our community, bringing light to the world, preserving health, and ministering to the sick. While this year's celebration remains virtual, it is as meaningful as ever, capping off another heroic year on our campus. Each year, the Women's Board honors those who have given extraordinary service to Lankenau and the surrounding community. Our honorees join me here this evening. Dr. Larry Livornese, Jr., who is chairman of the Department of Medicine for Mainline Health and also holds the Dorrance Hamilton Chair of Medicine. Dr. Livornese leads our infectious disease team and has been instrumental in the COVID fight over the past 2 years. He represents the frontline staff at Lankenau. The Very Reverend Canon Martini Shaw, Rector of the historic African Episcopal Church of St. Thomas in Overbrook. Reverend Shaw joins us this evening representing our strong community connection. He played an integral role in our community vaccination efforts and is a strong partner in our shared work with Together for West Philadelphia. He is also a member of the Lankenau Medical Center Foundation Board, and we're very grateful for his service. Dolores Dunn, RN BS, recently retired as clinical and diabetic educator from Lankenau Medical Center. Dolores worked for Lankenau for 59 years. I'm sure she's the longest serving employee that we've ever had. We are so appreciative of her service and thrilled that she is also being honored here this evening as well. She represents staff commitment to care and the caring for our community during these challenging times. But we will let our honorees speak for themselves in their own words.
Thank you so much, Phil Robinson. I appreciate those wonderful remarks. Let me first express my enormous gratitude and thanks to the Lankenau Women's Board for this honor, for this award this evening, this prestigious award. I accept it with great gratitude and humility, as well as I accept it in partnership with St. Thomas Church, which continues to support me and love me and pray for me, and has really been a part of a ministry here at Lankenau as well as myself. Let me also say that as a former pre-medicine and theology student, serving on the Lankenau Foundation Board is probably one of the greatest joys of my life. It has been, it continues to be, for I have been able to merge the two disciplines, the two passions that I have of medicine as well as theology together in serving as a board member. It is such an honor, especially during the lighting of a tree during this season of Advent, which exudes Lankenau's commitment and service to the community. A tree breathing life into the world, a tree symbolic of preserving health and healing the sick, a tree to celebrate all of these gifts. For the Christian community which I belong, this is also a fitting time because it is the lighting of a tree as part of the season of Advent, the beginning of the Advent season, a season of anticipation, season of waiting, season of expectation, preparation, and hope. And for us, a season preceding the birth of Jesus Christ. With Advent comes promising good news that Christ is coming, good news of compassion and healing, good news of love, comfort, peace, and joy. May this good news of Advent heal, comfort, and inspire all of us. And may this season shine with the brightness of the true light, that we may indeed know the mystery of that light. Thank you again for this honor, and may God continue to richly bless Lankenau Medical Center.
Dolores Dunn holds the distinction of being the longest tenured employee in Lankenau's history. In her versatile career, Dolores has touched many lives. She has enhanced the education of nursing students, staff, patients, and their families. Her approach to teaching has been to keep it simple and make it challenging for the learner. This has been demonstrated in problem-solving classes for nurse preceptors and diabetic education for patients, their family members, and all levels of staff. And her lab is really infectious. Dolores truly embodies what makes Lankenau special. We are thrilled to include her in this year's class of honorees.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Charlotte Mackey and the Women's Board for inviting me to participate in this year's Tree of Life lighting ceremony. The moment I first arrived at Lankenau in 1989, I was struck by the palpable uniqueness of this institution. It was clear this was not only a hospital that provided outstanding clinical care, but was also an organization made up of nurses, administrators, volunteers, physicians, and non-clinical employees that create a unique culture unlike anywhere I'd ever been. 32 years later, we operate in a very different world, and our hospital faces very different challenges, but that incredible culture of caring, kindness, and family persists. The Women's Board is a key part of the interwoven fabric that makes up that culture, and the Tree of Life is an outwardly visible sign of the work they do. I personally feel so lucky to be a small part of this incredible community. For the past 17 years, I have placed a star on the Tree of Life in memory of my wife's aunt, who spent the last 15 years of her life living with us. It's a small way my family is able to remember her, celebrate her life, and the time we shared together. I know the tree allows many others to engage in similar feelings as they remember loved ones who are no longer here or honor the living who have impacted their lives in meaningful ways. Over the years, I've watched a number of colleagues be recognized at this ceremony. All of them are people I looked up to, and many I considered giants of the institution, such as Rosemary Casey and Jerome Santoro. I am both humbled and honored to be included with this group in a tradition that dates back to 1983. In this time of COVID, I think it's incredibly notable and appropriate that the Women's Board has chosen to recognize a nurse educator, Dolores Dunn, a member of the clergy, Reverend Martini Shaw, and an infectious disease physician. We represent three groups who have worked to care for, protect, and educate the public during this pandemic. Dolores worked at Lankenau for over 50 years as a diabetes educator, and Reverend Martini has worked closely with us to bring COVID information and vaccine access to the West Philadelphia community. The lighting of the Tree of Life is symbolic of the work we all do, bringing new life into the world, protecting the health of our community, and caring for the sick. It allows us to recognize those that have cared for our loved ones and to celebrate the lives of those that are no longer here, both of which I find particularly poignant in this time of COVID. In closing, my sincere thanks to the Women's Board for all the work they do to support our mission, much of which is done quietly behind the scenes. Our institution is a richer and a better place because of you, and our patients benefit from your work every day. I wish you all a happy holiday season and a safe and healthy 2022.
Thank you to all of our honorees for sharing their stories. When I think of the Lankenau team and the efforts and sacrifices they made during these challenging times, words like bravery, heroism, professionalism, caring, and compassion come to mind. They have displayed the utmost in commitment and dedication and have been key players in bringing about this season of hope. And now Charlotte Mackey, President of the Women's Board, will join me in lighting the tree. Each light represents donations made in memory of a loved one, in thanks to friends and family, or to honor coworkers and caregivers.
Thank you, Phil. As president of the Women's Board of Lankenau Medical Center, I am honored to join you in the annual Tree of Life lighting ceremony, kicking off the 2021 holiday season. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Pat Nogar and Jill Acker, our co-chairs, and the members of the Tree of Life Committee for their hard work in putting this together. I would also like to thank our sponsors who have demonstrated their belief in what we do by supporting our efforts. The Tree of Life ceremony has truly become a beloved tradition that so many look forward to every year. The Women's Board and its auxiliaries are dedicated to supporting the amazing work that Lankenau does to preserve and restore the health and well-being of our community. In addition to serving on the Women's Board and auxiliaries, our families and friends live and work here too. To those watching, we invite you to drive by the Tree of Life on Lankenau's campus and reflect on our theme, Season of Hope, as we give thanks to all of those who have met the challenges of this last year. So please join us as we light the tree.
It is always an honor to participate in the Tree of Life lighting. It is an annual reminder of our inspiration and resilience. I have been so inspired by our honorees this year and feel blessed to have heard their stories and to have borne witness to their work. It is my hope that though we are not together this year, that you feel the closeness and connection in our community. May we look ahead with a sense of peace and promise. We close this time together with a blessing. May this tree of life be a reminder of the light we shine. As we come and go, may its illumination give us hope for brighter days. May it help us to remember those we have lost. May it help us to recall those that inspire us daily. May it light our path forward, moving us to bring wholeness, healing, and hope to all we meet. Amen. Until we meet again, we hold you in our hearts. We send our warmest wishes to our beloved community. Thank you.
From all of us at Lankenau Medical Center, thank you for joining us this evening. Take care, stay well, and enjoy the holiday season.